Welcome to the CXR channel, our premier podcast for talent acquisition and talent management. Listen in as the CXR community discusses a wide range of topics focused on attracting, engaging, and retaining the best talent. We're glad you're here.
Welcome to another Career Crossroads podcast. I'm Chris Hoyt, president of CXR, and your host for today. We're doing a recap show. I'm super excited. We just wrapped up one of my favorite topics. I know I say that at all the meetings, but one of my favorite topics is recruitment marketing and branding. And we always have such a great group. We had about 30 some odd companies that were at the meeting today, where we talked about a couple of case studies that were shared. But first, before we jump in and sort of talk about big takeaways, I want to introduce our guests. We have two, and I'm going to go in the order that you are on my screen in the Brady Bunch fashion. Why don't you guys introduce who you are, what you do, and maybe how long you've been at your employer. So Courtney, let's start with you.
Hi, everybody. Courtney Kawai with Gallo. I've been with Gallo for 7 years now. It's flown by, time flies when you're having fun. I am the employment branding program manager. So newly in this role, and covering everything from employment branding, recruitment marketing, reputation management, social media, a little bit of D&I sprinkled throughout that.
Well, so you're not busy at all. There's nothing going on.
Yeah, no, I'm just, hanging out, drinking my coffee. Yeah.
For sure. All right. And Thomas, welcome. This is your first podcast show with us. You want to introduce yourself?
Thank you. Yeah. Thomas Tiernan here. I work for Intuitive, based out of Sunnyvale, California. I'm the recruitment marketing lead at Intuitive. So, anything that has to do with marketing and recruiting, I'm your guy. So I'm excited to be here and looking forward to speak on this podcast.
Great. Well, I don't want to steal anybody's thunder, so I won't go first. But we had two really great, I made a great conversation afterwards amongst all the members, but we had two really great sort of case studies that were shared, one by Assurant and the other by Disney. Courtney, did you have a big wow moment or an aha moment or, oh, that's cool moment from either of those?
Yes. So of course, Disney is always impressing. I really enjoyed the Grace Hopper conference, the page that they created. I think that that's very cool. Of course, DEI is on the top of our minds. We're also working on our end to kind of bring through those stories of our employees and really telling those stories and sharing them with the external candidates so they can see themselves working at Gallo. So just love that they created that microsite. We have a handful, but would love to do something very similar, for maybe a National Black or another type of recruiting conference. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, super cool. We have some organizations that get to do some really fun stuff. So I love it.
I know. We were both Carrie and I were chatting back and forth like, oh, we're jealous about this one. Okay.
A little back channel chatter.
Yes.
It's nice. Thomas, how about you?
Disney was amazing. Their creative is always on the top when it comes to looking and feeling and staying on brand. That's one thing that I always love about Disney. But for me, the wow moment was with Assurant, with Nikki. There's one thing in her when she was talking in her presentation about how she didn't really, or her team also didn't go with the standard approach of, getting approval, waiting 18 months or so to get this employee story out there to the public. They kind of just went with it and rolled with it. And for me at Intuitive, I feel almost the same way, where our being humble is something that's really important to the company. So marketing externally especially is difficult. So after seeing the successes that they had from the stories, the employee stories, specifically around women and diversity at their company and the success and the results that they got from that, to me, that was the wow moment. And I said, hey, if they can do it, I can do it too.
Yeah, it's funny the affinity those of us who love that marketing brand space have for the forgiveness over permission approach.
Yeah,
trying to get some stuff done, right?
Definitely.
I did like, Thomas, to your point, I really appreciated the shift away from stock photography. But then as some folks on the call sort of called out, that comes with risks, right? When you move to the more authentic approach with your employees and showcasing them, as Assurant has done really wonderfully in the portal and in the blog, but showcase them, you run the risk of like, well, what happens when the employee leaves? right? And I spent, we're in this great resignation, although I'm not so sure what's so great about it, but we're in this great resignation and the employees leave. And I thought it was really well done, and that they're conscious of the ability for those employees to leave and for them to have to continually move that around, but also that they were beginning to sort of bubble up this new program of a photography collection internally, which I think is pretty ambitious.
Super important. Obviously 2020 put a dent in those plans, but definitely I think we at Thomas, we are kind of in the same, realm with the humbleness, right? So how do we feature Gallo and our employees without feeling braggadocious? So we implemented employee features a couple of years back, and it's, taken off, and it's wonderful because, our employees are our greatest asset. So I think as long as you focus on the employee and what is, what their job is or what really makes them who they are, it kind of just the story tells itself in a sense. And it really helps with candidates. We've gotten a lot of anecdotal, the big issue is, what does, the employee feature do or the social media do for hiring, like the direct hire? That's always been kind of an issue, right? Tying those types of features and things to the direct hire. But we've heard a ton of anecdotal stories, right? I saw X feature and, you guys reached out to me. I'm a passive candidate. I saw X feature and it really spoke to me. So I think that at least for us, it's been, worth the risk. And we've kind of, settled on, hey, if it's a digital asset, it's pretty easy to take down. If we put a lot of work into something, it's a bummer if somebody leaves and we have to take it down. But it's again, risk is worth the reward for this, especially with the digital stuff, because you can easily pull it down. When you come to print stuff, that's a little bit tougher, but candidates recognize the authenticity of actual employees. Stock photography it's a no-go anymore.
Yeah, but I don't think the numbers lie either. I think they said they had 30 women who shared stories, the brief stories. They had 76,000 LinkedIn users who saw it, but a combined 218,000 LinkedIn users across the multi-channel approach that they had. And I think it was about 13% higher engagement on that program than was generated from their previous highest benchmark. So the numbers are there and tracking it is there. But I think, Thomas, you raise a really good point. I think it has to be done with some level of humility.
Yeah, people love to see, someone that's working in the same field as them or at the same company, something where you can create that emotional connection to. And that's why I feel like stock photography, you can use it in places, but having that actual, human touch and that connection with the photo is where you can really get the most impact. And although COVID has been very difficult for a lot of people, especially on our brand and creative team, going in, taking photos and videos at Intuitive at the location, one thing that I do see a benefit is within video. Everyone is so used to having meetings on Zoom or recording videos through their iPhone now, where now when people see a video testimonial, for example, recorded on a Zoom meeting or recorded on their phone, they're not automatically thinking, oh, wow, the quality is not as great anymore, because they're so used to it. Mm-hmm. So there's been a positive there that I've noticed that I think that, we should definitely utilize more of that more raw footage, but it still has just as much impact as a professionally done one.
Yeah, I think for sure. As long as there's a level of authenticity and it's not just too polished. So it's nice. Guys, yeah. I want to thank both of you for jumping on the podcast after the call and just doing a quick recap with us. It's always great to have you. I know you're excited. I know this is why you did it. You're going to get your podcast coin, your podcast CXR challenge coin. You're excited. Thomas is like, what's a podcast coin? Don't worry. We're sending it. But I just want to thank you guys both for your time and, of course, your contributions to the meetings today. We love you being part of the community and appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
I thought you were talking about a crypto coin or something for a second. And I was like, I'm excited about that then.
Everybody's got a budget, Thomas. We don't all have big corporate money.
We only take Bitcoin now.
Yeah. CXR coin, please.
Thanks for listening to the CXR channel. Please subscribe to CXR on your favorite podcast resource and leave us a review while you're at it. Learn more about CXR at our website, cxr.works, facebook.com and twitter.com/careercrossroads, and on Instagram @careerxroads. We'll catch you next time.